Coming up on this week's edition of the Sports Desk, we'll tell you how many points the El Camino College football team scored this time around. And on the high school gridiron, a single point separated Torrance and Peninsula. West and Redondo Union were also involved in a thriller. Eric Kabak will break those down for us. North High hosted red-hot Culver City. Anthony Scott will have that story. And Veronica Cobos checks in with the El Camino College men's soccer team. Plus, we have lots of high school and college volleyball for you. Get ready, Torrance. The Sports Desk begins right now. Welcome, everyone, to the only sports show designed with the Torrance sports fan in mind. This is the Sports Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, AJ Vittone, and we've got plenty to talk about this week. But first, don't forget to interact with us on social media. We can't do this show without you. Remember to share your videos, photos, and story ideas. And remember to use the hashtag #TheSportsDeskTV when posting. Keep us informed, Torrance, and we'll put you on the show. I promise. All right, for a few minutes there, it looked as if the Grossmont College football team was actually going to give El Camino College a run for its money. Wishful thinking if you're Grossmont. And that's because the Warriors put an end to those hopes and dreams real quick. After all, it's what they do best. The offensive juggernaut known as El Camino College returned to Murdoch Stadium recently, and the question on everyone's mind would have to be, how many points would the Warriors score this time? Let's just say, a lot. Grossmont getting ready to battle the Warriors. First quarter, Grossmont up 7. Cole Clayman scrambles out of the pocket, looks downfield, tosses the bacon 30 yards to Trayvon Clark, and he just waltzes into the end zone. And just like that, Warriors tie the game up at lucky number 7. A couple of minutes later, still first quarter, same score, wouldn't last. Clayman finds John L. Jackson, and he barrels into the end zone, 7 yards to pay dirt. Warriors take the lead 14-7. Things would get hairy late in the first. Nels Halton now kicking a 34-yard field goal for Grossmont. And if you're happy and you know it splits your uprights, and all of a sudden it's a 4-point game, people. We move to the second half. This is the turning point of the game. Elko's Kevin Bormeister in for the kick. What the? Grossmont recovers and takes it on the 33-yard line. 9 minutes left in the second now, but Elko redeems themselves. That's James Randolph with the strip. He goes 35 yards to the house, picking off Josh Harris. 21-10 Elko. And then check this out. Late in the third quarter, Elko pouring it on. Clayman, play action fake. He connects with Stephon Robinson, and watch him go. He turns on the Jets. No one in sight. 80 yards on the play. And strike a pose, Mr. Robinson. You deserve it. Robinson finished with 159 yards and 2 touches. El Camino wins 58-23. Afterwards, plenty of words were spoken.
It was kind of a reminder to us to get back to the basics. I talked to the team at halftime about, reminding us why we're successful and what it's going to take to continue to be successful. So it was part of our process and growing up. I thought this was a good night.
It's a great feeling. You have confidence to go out there. You know that the offensive line, they've done a great job all season long. I mean, you know that they're going to give you the time. You know that the receivers are talented and they're doing what they're supposed to do. And it's fun when you can just get out there and you don't have to think and you can just react, and that's when you see big offensive explosions such as what happened tonight.
This offense has been great. It's fun. Everyone's a family on offense. Things are coming well. No one's arguing. Things like that are going. We're all a family. Everything's just perfect on offense. I feel like our passing game is good. The blocking, the run game, everything is just perfect.
This was close a couple of times in the first 22 minutes of play, but then the Warriors turned on the Jets in the second quarter, scoring 27 unanswered points en route to their third straight blowout victory. Quarterback Cole Clayman was 12 for 16 for 276 yards and 5 touches. Stephon Robinson finished with 4 catches for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Warriors are now 3-0 on the season and ranked 6th in the state right now and 17th in the country. How about that? Well deserved. Next up for Elko, they hit the road to take on Saddleback. Let's talk high school football now. The Tartars of Torrance High are trying to rebound from a 28-point loss at home to Culver City. Heading into their recent game against Peninsula, the Tartars found themselves still searching for their first win of the season. Is this the game where it finally happens? Sports Desk reporter Eric Kabak was at Samperini Stadium, and he has our answer.
We are here at Torrance High School as the Tartars play host to the 2-1 Peninsula Panthers. Last week, the Panthers defeated Sotomayor, winning a whopping 73-0. Meanwhile, the Torrance Tartars lost here at home 48-20 at the hands of Culver City High School. The Tartars will have their hands full as the Peninsula Panthers only allow 11 points per game. The last time these two teams played, the Tartars lost 35-17. And we will see if those Tartars will pound those Panthers. Torrance High is coming out with some energy as they try to get their first victory of the season. And we will pick up the action in the first. Second down just around midfield for the Tartars. Running back Eric Suarez takes the handoff, bounces the ball outside, and gets the huge run. Gain of 35. Tartars are now in the red zone. Same drive, quarterback Nicholas Allers hands it to fullback Kyle Sell, pushes the pile, and scores the first touchdown of the game. Tartars up 7-0 early. We're still in the first. Panthers ball now. Quarterback Aiden Quickendall throws a pick to cornerback Eric Suarez as he runs off, and the sideline is amped up. Tartars get the ball in good field position. Ensuing drive, 2nd and goal from the 5. Jerome Duhan takes the handoff, goes right up the gut for the score. The Tartars ran all over the Panthers, gaining 246 on the ground, and they would run their way to victory, winning by a mere 1 point, 21-20, earning their first win of the season. Reporting from Torrance High, I'm Eric Kabak for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Eric. Torrance survives a squeaker with the 1-point victory over Peninsula. The Tartars finished with 231 yards of total offense. Junior Eric Suarez racked up 85 yards and scored a touch in this one. Senior Jerome Duhan added 51 yards and a touch. Torrance is now 1-2 on the season. Next up, Torrance will host El Segundo. In their last outing, the Warriors of West High picked up their first win of the season when they flat out rocked Eastside to the tune of 45-0. Needless to say, the Warriors weren't happy with that Week 1 loss to Culver City, eh? Well, West was back at home to entertain Redondo Union. Eric Kabak was at this one as well. Eric, what you got for us?
We are here at West High with a great crowd as the West Warriors host the Redondo Union Seahawks. Both schools came off of wins last week. All right, we'll pick up the action in the third quarter now. West with possession, down by a touchdown. Quarterback Brandon Poffenberger rolls out of the pocket, looking for a receiver, but throws it right to Redondo player for the interception. Redondo celebrates. Ensuing drive for Redondo Union, lined up for the field goal, and they would nail it to get this into a 2-possession game, 24-14. After a West punt, all Redondo needs to do is run out the clock, but running back DeMarcus Johnson fumbles, and a recovery by West High would give them hope in this one. West possession, but now a 4th down. They need to convert to keep this one alive, but first-time starter Poffenberger can't convert for West after throwing the incompletion. So after the turnover on downs, under 2 minutes now, all Redondo needs to do is run out the clock. However, quarterback Jack Alexander's flushed out of the pocket, makes an errant throw, and cornerback Michael Silva picks it off and takes it back to the house, and they trail 24-21 after the pick 6. Coach Greg Holt called that pick a gift.
That was a gift, you know. Right. I mean, that was a situation where they could have ran the ball and ran more time off the clock, but they decided to throw it. I dialed up a little bit of pressure, and he had to get rid of it pretty quick.
After a stop on defense, West would have a chance to either tie the game or win it. However, with no timeouts left and less than 30 seconds to go, the comeback would fall short. Coach Greg Holt was proud of the way his team fought back and made it a game.
If we would have quit, we'd have never known what this energy is about, and so now we know what it's like. They're a young team, inexperienced. And now they felt that, and now they felt the sting of the loss, but they've also felt the joy of the energy that this game's supposed to be played with. So I think that we've learned a lot today. And hey, I mean, I don't think this is going to keep us from a league championship. You know, that's our goal. So we're going to keep fighting, and we'll be all right.
What a finish here at West High, but the West High Warriors fall to the Redondo Union Seahawks 24-21 in a great game. They will look to get a win next week as they visit Miracosta. This is Eric Kaback reporting for the Sports Desk.
Eric, thanks so much. West loses a heartbreaker, as Eric just told us, as they fall to 1-2 on the season. Next game for the Warriors, they'll travel to Manhattan Beach for a visit with Miracosta. All right, fresh off their 24-point victory over Bishop Montgomery, the Saxons of North High were looking for win number 3 on this young season. The Saxons returned home to play host to Culver City. Sports Desk reporter Anthony Scott was there, and he files this report.
It's the 4th week of the season, and North High School finally gets a home game. The North High School Saxons are 2-1 on the season and coming off a win over Bishop Montgomery last week. This week, the Saxons are going to have their hands full on defense as Culver City comes in averaging 53 points a game and are 2-0 on the season. North High School was fired up to play in front of their home fans for the first time this year, but the Centaurs of Culver City were ready to spoil their home opener. From the start, the Culver City offense was ready to go. On the first drive of the game, senior quarterback for Culver City, Jonathan Martin, finds Jamal Gillespie in the end zone for 6 points. North High School's first drive was at about midfield until this pass is intercepted by Culver City safety, Robert Simon. That gave the Centaurs great field position, and they wasted no time. The first play after the interception, running back Brandon Ohm takes the handoff, gets to the second level of the defense, hits the turbo button, and is gone. He puts the Centaurs on top 14-0 in the first quarter. Later in the second quarter, Jonathan Martin links up with Kevin McGuire for the score. McGuire would finish with 2 receiving touchdowns as Culver City put North High School away before halftime, up 28-0. Obviously, the offense had a spectacular day for Culver City, but Coach Wright won't forget about his defense, who forced 3 turnovers on Friday night.
Our defensive staff had a real good game plan going in. We kind of knew how they were going to attack us, and the players played well. They stuck to their guns and read their keys and executed the game plan.
Down by 28, North High School showed some fight. Quarterback Sean Segala led his team down the field, and the Saxons capped it off with a rushing touchdown late in the third quarter. Todd Croce was pleased with his team's effort late in the game.
It's kind of a character check. In the second half, when we were already down, we wanted to see how we were going to respond. And, you know, kids definitely didn't fold and just lay down, and that was nice to see. But got to eliminate mistakes. Can't make them against a good team like Culver City.
The Culver City offense was dominant once again, claiming another victim. This week they put up 42 points on North High School en route to their 3rd victory of the season. For North High School, they'll look to rebound next week when they go up against Morningside High School. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Anthony Scott.
Anthony, thank you for that report. North falls to 2-2 on the season with their 42-7 loss to Culver City. Saxons will entertain, as Anthony said, Morningside in their next contest. Elsewhere in high school football, the Spartans of South High lost to Santa Fe on the road by the final of 42-0. Spartans fall to 0-3 on the season. Next up for South, they return home to entertain Santa Monica. And lastly, Bishop Montgomery fell to Inglewood by the final of 47-14. The Knights are now 0-3 on the season. Next up for the Knights, they'll return home to face Mary Star of the Sea. All right, we're going to take a quick time out here on the Sports Desk, but don't even think about touching that dial. There's plenty more to come, including this. Veronica Cobos will break down the El Camino men's soccer game against Moore Park. And did the Elko women's volleyball team remain perfect? Anthony Scott will answer that one for us. Plus, we've got plenty of high school girls volleyball as well. Both South High and West High were in action. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Remember to follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Share your story ideas, post your photos and videos. We want to hear from you, Torrance. After all, this is your show, so be sure to get involved. All right, after dropping 2 straight to Santa Monica and Glendale, the El Camino men's soccer team rebounded with an impressive win, due in large part to the stellar play of sophomore Jason Santana. The Warriors were hoping to get a win streak going when they entertained Moore Park recently, and Sports Desk reporter Veronica Cobos was there, and she's going to tell us if the Warriors continued their winning ways.
Hey AJ, the Warriors are facing off against the Moore Park College Raiders today with hopes of getting a little winning streak started for themselves. In their last game against Irvine Valley, the men went 2-0, and they really need to take that momentum and bring it into today's game. El Camino wasted no time at the beginning of the first as Gregory Nat, a transfer sophomore for the Warriors, scored a goal in the 3rd minute of the game, making it known that he and his team were ready to play.
It's my first goal of the season, so, I thought that was good, but it's not really it's not about me, it's about the team, so that was a good, milestone for me, but, it's all about the team.
El Camino was able to hold Moore Park down during the first, but the coaches noticed a drop of intensity during the second. This caused for some changes on the field. Nat was able to share with us what his coaches had to say.
During halftime, he told us that we had a pretty good half. Like I said, we created a lot of opportunities, but that towards the end, we had some periods of time, 5-10 minutes, where we looked a little slow, losing the ball and stuff like that. We needed to clean it up in the second half. He was going to make adjustments, and he did.
The adjustments made a difference once Moore Park delivered the tying goal, but not even 18 seconds later, Jason Santana answered back for the Warriors, giving them the lead once again.
I knew we were down because we had just got scored on, so I knew it was going to be detrimental that I scored that goal. And we had the opportunity, so I have to take it.
I think right now it's just for us to continue working our finishing. We are creating a lot of chances. I just feel we're not putting them away. But second half, we allowed a silly goal, but the guys came up strong again, and we keep going forward. So that's going to give us more chances to keep scoring and winning games.
Although it's just the beginning of the season, the El Camino men's soccer team is off to a great start, but they still have a long ways to go. For the Sports Desk, I'm Veronica Cobos.
Thank you, Veronica. Warriors win their 2nd straight. Santana finishes with a goal and assist. He's on fire. Carlos Amezcua continued his undefeated streak in goal. He moves to 3-0-1 after this game. He finished with 3 saves in this puppy. El Camino is now 4-2-1 on the season. Well, they couldn't stay perfect forever, even though for a while there it looked like it. The El Camino women's volleyball team actually lost for the first time this season when they dropped a match to Bakersfield by the final of 3-2. Sporting a 5-1 record now, the Warriors returned to campus where they hosted the El Camino Tri-Tourney. Sports Desk reporter Anthony Scott was there for the tournament, and he's going to drop some knowledge on us.
In her first year as the El Camino women's volleyball head coach, Liz Hazel has the Warriors right where they left off, and that's winning volleyball games. At 5-1, El Camino welcomes in Grossmont today as a chance to improve on their record. Grossmont and El Camino both made it to the Final Four last season, so today should be a tightly contested matchup. Grossmont was able to take the early lead thanks to big hits like that from sophomore Felicia Marshall. The Griffins won the first set 28-26. El Camino fought back hard in the second set. Thanks to not one, but 2 blocks, the Warriors grabbed an 18-17 advantage as part of a 7-1 run. Grossmont would respond with a beautiful block by Alexis Moore, and then a few points later, an El Camino block lands out of bounds, giving Grossmont the set. El Camino was down 2-0, but head coach Liz Hazel knew her team would not quit.
They have good fight. They work super hard. We're trying to get them, if you would start out that way all the time, maybe we wouldn't be down like that, but same thing on Wednesday. We got down by a lot, have to come back. But it's a really good trait to have, to be able to be resilient and be just relentless and not give up.
The two teams were knotted at 18 in the third set. Then the Warriors kicked it into high gear, going on a 7-2 run, capped off by this spike from Aiko Waters to take set 3 by a score of 25-20. The sophomore Waters continued her dominant play in the fourth set. She finished the day with 27 kills and added this ace to help the Warriors win the fourth set and tie the match at 2. El Camino may have just ran out of steam because it was all Grossmont in the 5th and final set. The Griffins win the final point on an illegal touch and grab the set by a score of 15-7. First-year head coach Liz Hazel was happy to get at least one win in the El Camino Tri-Tournament.
We knew we had a tough week this week. We were playing 3 teams that rankings just came out and were ranked higher than us, and so we knew they'd all be super solid. So it was nice to come out against Canyons and get a win. And then a bummer losing in 5 against Grossmont. It would have been nice to win both those, but yeah, it's very important to get a win out of playing 3 tough teams this week.
Liz Hazel has the team under control and playing well in her first year as head coach. It's a young season, but the 6-2 Warriors are poised to make another deep run into the playoffs. Reporting from the El Camino South Gymnasium, I'm Anthony Scott for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Anthony. El Camino won their first match against Canyons 3-2. Warriors were led by Jerafina Leilua with 16 kills and Kayana Takahashi with 20 digs. Aiko Waters led the Warriors with 27 kills in the loss to Grossmont. Okay, to high school girls volleyball now. The Spartans of South High were still riding the high that came with their last match, in which the Spartans swept 3 straight from Peninsula High School. The Spartans were back at home recently, entertaining the Mustangs of Marlborough High. Spartans of South High getting all jacked up for this one. 3rd set, South down 1. Stephanie Rios serving in the far court for the Spartans, and then watch Lauren Walsh. Oh, she's going to kill him with kindness. And just like that, Spartans tie the score at 10. Coach right there rallying his troops together. Minutes later, Spartans down 5 now. And then South junior Reagan Walsh drops some killjoy on Marlborough. And that point cuts South's deficit to 4. Spartans down 24-19 at this point. Mustangs serve up an ace right there to close out the set. They would win the 3rd set by the final of 25-19. 4th set, South in the near court. Watch Christian Fritchie. Nifty set up to Kai Lopez, and she slammed it home. Spartans trailed by 5 at that point. Coach inspires a spirited comeback by the Spartans. Down 25-24 in the 4th. Spartans would fall short, though, dropping that 4th set 26-24. After winning the 1st set 25-19, South drops the next 3, losing by the final of 3-1. South falls to 3-7 on this season. The Warriors of West High were trying to rebound from a recent loss at home to Culver City. Warriors returned home to entertain the Vikings of Santa Monica. Lady Warriors of West getting pumped for this one. West won the 1st set 25-23 and then dropped the 2nd set 25-16 and the 3rd set 25-12. We pick up the action in the 4th set now. West picking up the intensity. Mia Hijataga Abrena right there sets up Jocelyn LaCroix for the soft kill. West down 2 early with a score 12-9 in favor of Santa Monica. Kristen Strauss is serving now, and, well, that's an ace. And once again, the Warriors find themselves only trailing by 2. And then Megan Lee assisting Lily Newhart. She's licensed to kill. West cuts the deficit to 2 again. Santa Monica still up 2, 15-13 now. Kristen Noss right there serving for the Warriors. And, well, it's all about that ace, no treble. West only down a single point. The Warriors would tie it up at 15 in the 4th set. There's the ace right there, by the way. But Santa Monica had too much firepower in this one. The Vikings would go on to win this match by the final of 3-1. West falls to 3-6 on the season. Elsewhere in girls volleyball, the Saxons dropped their 2nd straight with a 3-0 loss at Chadwick High School. The Saxons are now 2-5 on the season. Tartars of Torrance High traveled to El Segundo High School and won in 3 straight sets. Torrance is now 4-4 on the season. Okay, we're going to take another quick pause for the cause, but whatever you do, don't move a muscle because you won't want to miss this. Still to come, the El Camino College women's water polo team searches for their first win of the season. Plus, South hosted Bishop Montgomery and high school girls tennis. You're watching the Sports Desk, and you should encourage your friends to watch too. We'll be right back.
You look incredible. Did you go tanning? Yeah, check it out. Jealous.
Best spring break ever.
No.
You're getting so tan.
Finals are the worst.
I'm so glad they're over.
We need some sun.
I can't believe our friends are getting married.
She looks amazing.
Where's your tan?
I can't go tanning anymore. Doctor's orders. It's melanoma. I'm stage 3.
Melanoma is the second most common cancer for young women, 15 to 29. Protect yourself. Protect your friends. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back. The Warriors were trying to avoid taking another dip in the pool recently. Don't worry, I'll explain. After losing their first 2 games of the season, the El Camino College women's water polo team were hoping for a big win in their very own El Camino mini tourney. Warriors were entertaining LA Valley. Let's check it out. Lady Warriors, of course, still searching for that first win. Late first quarter, Elko trailing 4-1. Eileen Guerrero rips one past the goaltender to put the Warriors within 2. LA Valley led 4-2 at the end of one. Midway through the second now, it's Sona Aghasarian with a defender draped all over, and she's able to score, extending LA Valley's lead to 7-2. El Camino battles back before the half. Eileen Guerrero again, the no-look shot. That's fancy. The Elko sophomore finished with 3 goals. Warriors down 8-5. The half, third quarter now. Watch Andrea Canchola, the one-timer like a hockey forward. She finished with a hat trick as well. 3 goals on the day. Warriors down 2, and that's as close as they would get. Loreni Valdez with a 6th save for LA Valley, and they won by the final of 10-8. El Camino now falls to 0-3 on the season. And finally tonight, we're going to hit the courts for a little high school girls tennis. The Spartans of South High were entertaining the Knights of Bishop Montgomery recently. And the Lady Knights of Bishop getting ready to take on those very Lady Spartans of South. And this young lady right here, the #1 singles player for Bishop, Samantha Gilroy, she's only a freshman. Serving here in the near court, would win this match by the score of 6-2. That was certainly a bright spot for the Knights on this day. The ball was bouncing their way, that is for sure. And now in doubles action, Cameron Banks and Samara Gilroy, who is Samantha's twin sister, won all 3 of their matches for Bishop. Bishop's #1 team in doubles right there, by the way you're watching. But the Spartans of South High were just too strong in this one. South would go on to defeat Bishop by the final of 12-6. Well, that does it for this week's edition of the Sports Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your support. My name is AJ Vittone, and I've seen, heard, and said enough for 1 week. We'll continue this conversation again next week, I promise. Until then, don't forget to follow the Sports Desk on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and remember you can email us as well. We'd love to hear from you. It's all the time we have, sports fans. We'll catch you next time right here on the Sports Desk.